My family has a trade passed down for 3 generations. It is not prescribing medicine to save people, nor is it practicing feng shui to exorcise evil spirits. My family specializes in exterminating demons, specifically green teas. My father, David Shen, used to be the captain of the criminal police force, a leading expert in interrogation and micro-expression analysis. Just by a single glance, he can tell if the other person is lying about an affair or covering up a murder case. After retiring, he opened a private security consulting company named Purge Security Consulting. It sounds impressive, but in reality, it specializes in handling mistress and green tea cases for the elite. My mother, Grace Tang, is a criminal psychologist. She can sketch a portrait of a scammer through just a few lines of text messages and build a perfect psychological trap for the prey to walk into on their own. My brother, Alex Shen, is a white hat hacker. He can dig up the Tinder dating history of a scumbag from 10 years ago, or restore deleted WeChat messages of a green tea within 10 minutes. As for me, Selena Shen, I am the convergence of the family's elite traits. I inherited my father's sharp eyes, my mother's analytical brain, and my brother's technical skills at a level sufficient to expose others. Currently, I am a sophomore at a university, considering myself in an internship phase in one of the environments that produces the highest quality green teas in the country. The dormitory just welcomed a new member, Bella Zhang, the new beauty of the foreign language department who moved into my room. From the very first moment she dragged her suitcase through the door, my green tea warning system was screaming. A white dress reaching her ankles, straight black hair let down, a delicate face without makeup, but her lips were always rosy, and her eyes were always shimmering as if she were about to cry. A classic White Lotus archetype. She gave a weak smile to me and the other 2 roommates, her voice as light as a breeze. Hello everyone, I am Bella, I hope for your help in the future. Roommate A genuine otaku, immediately melted. Wow, you are so pretty, just call me Xiaomi. Roommate B, a research-loving scholar, also pushed up her glasses. Hello, I am Lena, I only nodded, the corners of my mouth lifting into a standard social smile. Selena, the purge system in my head automatically launched, beginning to build a profile. Subject Bella, preliminary level. Master, class green, tea. Characteristics include faking the innocent white rabbit image, easily gaining favor with women, and possessing highly lethal against men. Sure enough, in less than a week, Bella had successfully conquered everyone in the class, from the class monitor to the group of boys who only knew how to play games. She always appeared at the right time to hand a tissue to a crying girl, always unintentionally had an extra portion of breakfast for the male student sitting next to her, always saying things like, "Me. I am fine. You guys do not worry about me," with red-rimmed eyes. But I knew her ultimate goal was not these small fry. The big fish she was aiming for was Lucas Liu. Lucas, the male god of the Business Administration Department, president of the Student Union, and the only son of the chairman of Liu Corporation. He is the peak of the food chain in this university. Handsome, academically brilliant, with a massive family background, and a personality that is somewhat cold and distant, a perfect target for any hunter. I began recording Bella's hunting process like a case study. Day 1. The accidental encounter phase. She randomly dropped her books right in front of Lucas in the library. Not many books fell, just enough for him to have to bend down and help pick up one. She took the book back, lowered her head, her bangs covering her eyes, her voice whispering, "Thank you," a perfect act to create a first impression. Day 3. The phase of evoking empathy. She appeared at the basketball court where Lucas was competing. She did not scream like the other girls, only quietly sat in a corner, hugging a bottle of mineral water. When the match ended, she timidly walked over, handed the water bottle to another member of the team and said, "Classmate, could you please give this to President Liu? I see he looks tired." She did not approach directly but used an indirect method to show delicate concern. Level up. Day 7, the decisive attack phase. This was when the play reached its climax. That day, I was sitting in the coffee shop opposite the stadium finishing my internship report to send to my dad. Through the glass window, I saw Lucas just walking out of the gym. At the same time, Bella hugged a stack of documents towering high, walking over from a hidden corner. Everything happened like in a movie. She slipped, the stack of documents flying everywhere, and her whole body fell flat on the ground. But the valuable point lay in the fact that she fell right in front of Lucas's shoes. The people around started whispering. Lucas frowned, clearly not wanting to get involved in trouble. He was famous for not liking contact with strangers, especially girls, but Bella had calculated it all. She did not rush to stand up, only sat on the ground, her ankle red and swollen in a suspicious way. Tears began to well up, she bit her lip, trying to appear strong but unable to hide the look of pain. Psychological analysis of the subject Lucas shows he has a tendency toward mild narcissism, hates trouble, but at the same time has the self-esteem of a leader. Ignoring a weak girl who is injured in front of him, with everyone watching, would damage his image. I muttered, typing quickly on my laptop. As predicted, Lucas could not ignore it. He sighed, bent down, his voice still cold as ice. Are you okay? I am fine. Bella looked up, her watery eyes looking straight at him. A critical hit. Any man seeing this scene would soften his heart. Lucas was silent for a few seconds, seemingly struggling internally, and finally, he held out his hand. Around them, a few gasps of surprise rang out. Lucas had never actively helped a girl like that. Bella looked at his hand, the corners of her mouth hidden behind her hair slightly curving up. She was preparing to place her hand on his. Once physical contact is successful, the relationship will take a long step forward. I smiled, closed my laptop, paused the report, and switched to the intervention phase. I stood up, walked out of the coffee shop, and went straight to the center of the play. I squeezed through the crowd, stepping in front of the two of them. Bella, what is wrong? I squatted down beside her, my voice full of worry, completely ignoring the existence of Lucas. Bella froze, the triumphant smile not yet fully faded had frozen solid. Selena, why are you here? I did not answer. My hand gently touched her ankle. Does it hurt a lot? Let me see. I pressed lightly on an acupressure point. This was a skill I learned from an old bodyguard of my dad, used specifically to check for real or fake injuries. If it were real, she would hurt to the point of screaming. Bella jumped, but not because of pain, but because of surprise. Her eyes looking at me flashed a ray of wariness. I raised my head to look at her with a flawless innocent smile, but leaned close to her ear, and whispered at a volume only the two of us could hear. Acting skills are not bad, but next time if you want to fake a dislocation, you should learn a little about bone structure. This bone position looks more like a mosquito bite. Bella's face turned pale instantly. I stood up, turning to look at Lucas who had been frozen this whole time. I bowed at a perfect 30-degree angle, smiling politely. Sorry to bother you, President Liu. My roommate is a bit clumsy. I will take care of her. After speaking, I did not wait for him to answer, bending down to hoist Bella up in a gentle manner that allowed no resistance. Let's go. I will take you back to the room. As I brushed past Lucas, I could feel his gaze, no longer the cold distance but a deep curiosity and scrutiny. I supported Bella for a few steps then, as if remembering something, I turned my head back and smiled at him. Ah, that is right, President Liu. I am Selena, Bella's roommate. I am sure you do not mind if I ask for your contact method, just in case Bella accidentally encounters some trouble again when near you in the future. I will know where to report it. The whole crowd fell dead silent. This was not crashing the party. This was a declaration of war. In my head, red text appeared. Case file 404, subject Bella. Level toxic White Lotus, status in progress. Person in charge Selena. The atmosphere around thickened to the degree that a needle dropping on the ground would probably be heard. The entire crowd watching the drama held their breath, staring at the three-way confrontation between me, Bella and Lucas. My declaration of war was still hanging in the air, both jarring and provocative. Bella trembled, unclear if from anger or because her arm was being gripped tightly by me. She tried to pull her hand out but failed. Lucas did not show any confusion. He silently looked me up and down, his eyes sharp as a razor, as if wanting to strip away all my layers of camouflage. I also did not dodge, smiling as I faced him. In my head, the system automatically ran an analysis. Subject Lucas, heart rate stable, pupils not dilated, corners of mouth lifted 0.1 millimeters, reaction amused, not prey. He is another hunter. A few seconds passed like a century. Finally, Lucas broke the silence. He did not look at me but looked at his phone, his tone indifferent as if ordering food. Wait, chat, just 2 words. No asking for a name, no asking for a number. The whole crowd was once again astonished, adding Lucas as a chat friend. This was harder than winning the lottery. I raised my eyebrows. Interesting. I took out my phone and opened my QR code. Lucas was also very decisive, scanning the code to add a friend. The whole process took less than 5 seconds. Done. He put away his phone and brushed past me and Bella, leaving behind a casual sentence. Don't get injured for real. Who was this sentence spoken to? To Bella, warning her not to act anymore. Or to me, reminding me not to cross the line. I had not yet had time to analyze when Lucas had walked away. The crowd, seeing the play was over, also gradually dispersed, leaving only curious glances and a few whispers behind our backs. The play ended. I let go of Bella's hand. Let's go back to the dorm, I said, my tone returning to its usual social politeness. Bella flung my hand away hard, stepping back. The weak face from earlier had disappeared, replaced by a coldness and hatred that was not hidden at all. Her shimmering eyes were now sharp as daggers. Selena. She gritted her teeth. What do you want? Oh, finally willing to take off the mask. I smiled, leisurely dusting off my clothes. I do not want anything. It is just that I saw your acting had a few holes. As a roommate, I kindly reminded you a little, that is all. You ruined my good thing. Good thing. I laughed. Bella, do you think Lucas is an idiot? These old tricks of yours might fool some young boys, but with a person like him, it is even more obvious than a script from a third-rate drama. Her face became increasingly unsightly. Clearly, my words had hit the mark. What do you know? She growled. Don't think you are better than others. Someone like you is just a jealous little girl. Seeing someone else noticed by a male god, you are unwilling to accept it. Analysis. Subject begins gaslighting tactics, twisting the truth, turning herself into a victim. The system in my head ran again. I shook my head, feigning pity. Bella, is your level only this much? When you cannot argue, you start personal attacks. Boring. After speaking, I turned my back and walked away, not bothering to pay attention to her boiling with anger behind me. The real war was only starting now. As soon as I got back to the dorm, I immediately locked the door, opened my laptop, and initiated a group video call. The screen quickly displayed 3 faces. Report situation. Purge task force. I kept a straight face. On the left screen, my father David Shen was sitting in his office, his hand spinning a fountain pen. Listening. On the right screen, my mother Grace Tang was wearing a cucumber mask, her voice a bit unclear. How is the progress, daughter? On the middle screen, my brother Alex was sitting in front of a complex computer setup, his hands gliding over the keyboard like they were flying. Speak quickly. I am busy hunting a financial shark. I summarized the entire event from the fake fall to the direct declaration of war, and Lucas's reaction. My father pondered. Lucas. The kid from the Liu family is not simple. His reaction shows that he was not only not fooled but also wants to watch the play. You have become an interesting variable in his play. You must be careful. He might not be a target but another player. My mother removed a cucumber slice. I agree with your father, but the main target is still Bella. According to psychological analysis, after failing and being publicly humiliated, she will not stay silent. She will counterattack, and her weapon is public opinion. She will turn herself into a bullied victim. And you will become the domineering villain. No need to wait anymore. My brother interrupted, turning a screen toward the camera. School forum, 5 minutes ago. Shocking title. Foreign language beauty publicly humiliated by roommate right in front of male god, just because of jealousy. On the screen was a long post with pathetic wording. Perspective of an indignant passerby. The article described Bella as a gentle girl, weak and fragile, who just because she was helped a little by Chairman Liu, was hated by a roommate named Selena, who intentionally crashed the party, and even made sarcastic challenges. The article also cleverly attached a photo taken from a distance, capturing the moment I hoisted Bella up, looking no different from bullying her. Below, comments had jumped to the hundreds. Oh my god, unbelievable. Only for the players in the game. Case file 404 status update. Subject has counterattacked. Appearance of a third character with an undetermined role. Escalating the danger level of the case. Switching to phase 2. Breaking the public opinion trap and direct interrogation. At 9:50 p.m., I stood in front of the wardrobe without hesitation, and chose a plain black shirt, jeans, and threw on a thin bomber jacket. This outfit was comfortable enough to respond to any unexpected situation. For example, if Lucas suddenly wanted to push me downstairs, and simple enough to show that I did not consider this meeting a date. Before leaving, I sent a message to Alex. Brother, initiate operation. Snow White eats the poisoned apple. Requirements precise, fast, leave no trace. 3 seconds later, my brother replied with a smiley face sticker wearing sunglasses. Roger. The night wind on the rooftop of the Science and Technology building blew strongly. Lucas was already there, standing with his back to me right at the edge of the railing. His back was tall, lonely, blending into the neon lights of the city in the distance. Looking a bit like a villain in a movie. You are late by 1 minute and 37 seconds. He did not turn his head, his cold voice cutting through the wind. You have to ensure that no one is following. I calmly walked over to stand a safe distance from him. Safety first. Chairman Liu must be the person who understands this best. Only then did he turn around. Under the dim moonlight, his face was even more angular, his eyes deep and bottomless. He looked at me, a naked look, not hiding the scrutiny at all. Are you not afraid of me? Why should I be afraid? I shrugged. If you wanted to do something to me, you would not have chosen a place with a security camera at the only entrance. Lucas slightly curled his lips, a smile almost impossible to recognize. Smart, say it. This play of yours and Bella, how long do you plan to act? He went straight to the point, not a bit of beating around the bush. An analysis of the subject. Direct thinking style, eliminating unnecessary emotional factors, focusing on the goal, confirmed same type of person. I also did not stand on ceremony. So what about your play? Chairman Liu uses an innocent girl as bait, right? Watching two tigresses fight must be very interesting. She is not a tiger. Lucas shook his head, taking a step closer to me. A tiger would go straight for the prey. You are a snake patiently waiting, only striking with a fatal bite. The distance between us shortened. I could smell the faint scent of mint on him. The invisible pressure began to increase. So can this snake ask why you asked me out here? I raised my head to look straight into his eyes. To warn me not to touch your little white rabbit. Little white rabbit. Lucas laughed. A low laugh full of sarcasm. Selena, you underestimate me too much. And underestimate yourself too much. A rabbit in fox's skin. How can she compare to a snake bearing venom like you? He took another step forward. I asked you out here to propose a deal. A deal? Correct. His eyes flashed. You want to expose Bella. I want to watch a good play. Our goals do not conflict. I provide information. You provide the entertainment program. How about it? This was exactly what my father warned about. He is not prey. Nor is he a normal audience member. He wants to become the director. What information? I asked, not showing too much interest. For example, he took out his phone, swiped a few times, then held the screen toward me. Bella is not the daughter of a normal family as she says. Her father is Howard Zhang, a newly emerged real estate tycoon in B City, famous for methods that are not very clean. He wants to squeeze into the A City market, and the partner he is aiming for is Lu Corporation. All the puzzle pieces began to fit together. So that is it. Bella approached Lucas not only because he is a male god, but also as a move on her father's business chessboard, a commercial marriage. And there is more. Lucas took the phone back. She has a fiancé in B City, the son of another business partner of Howard. Heard the two are about to get engaged. High level green tea. Not only hunting one prey but casting nets everywhere. I muttered. How is it? Is my information valuable? Lucas asked, his tone full of confidence. It is acceptable, I replied, deliberately pretending to be indifferent. So what do you want from this play? I want her to leave the school in the most humiliating way possible. Lucas's voice suddenly turned cold, a look of extreme disgust flashing through his eyes. I hate the type of people who dare to scheme against me the most. I looked deep into his eyes. Fine, deal made. At that same moment, my phone vibrated, the screen lighting up with a notification from the school forum. I did not need to look to know it was a message from Alex. Phase 1 complete. I smiled at Lucas. It seems our play has already started to have new developments. Do you want to see? I opened the latest post on the forum. A clone account had just posted with a sensational title exposing the innocent beauty Bella as actually a rich young lady specializing in hunting young masters. Here is the evidence. The post did not mention me at all, only focusing on Bella. Attached were a series of screenshots from an old locked Instagram account of hers named Snow Yang. In them, she showed off designer handbags, checked in at luxury resorts, and most notably, a photo of her intimately linking arms with a strange man. Included was the caption counting down the days. My love. The photo was posted only 2 months ago. Below, Alex had used dozens of clone accounts to steer public opinion. Wait, is this not young Master Wang of the Wang Corporation in B City? I heard he is about to get engaged. Oh my god, she already has a fiancé yet still comes here to flirt with our school's male god. Disgusting. No wonder I always felt she was fake somehow. Turns out she is an actress. So what about the story of Selena bullying her? Or was Selena set up by her? Within just 5 minutes, the wind of public opinion had reversed 180 degrees. From a pitiful victim, Bella suddenly turned into a high-class green tea, a professional scammer. I looked up at Lucas. He was also looking at his phone, the corners of his mouth curving into a satisfied smile. Very professional technique, he praised. It seems your family is truly not ordinary, just a little petty talent. I humbly replied. The good play is coming soon. Lucas put away his phone. I am heading back first, waiting to see your performance. He brushed past me, but when he reached the door to the rooftop, he suddenly stopped, turning his head to look at me. Ah right, Selena. What is it? Just now, you looked deadly cute. After speaking, he disappeared behind the door, leaving me standing alone on the rooftop, his final sentence still echoing in my head. Cute. This word is used to describe me. I shook my head, dismissing the wandering thoughts. The play was not over yet. I turned and walked towards the dormitory where the direct confrontation was about to begin. As soon as I reached the hallway, I heard sobbing echoing from my room. I pushed the door open and entered. Bella was sitting on the bed. The 2 roommates Xiaomi and Lena were surrounding her to comfort her. Seeing me enter, all three looked up. Xiaomi looked at me with reproachful eyes, while Lena was full of suspicion. Bella saw me and her crying became even louder. She hiccuped, her voice broken and extremely pitiful. Selena, was the post on the forum done by you? Her eyes were flooded with water, both hurt and as if in disbelief. A true Oscar actress. I slammed the door shut and locked it, then I smiled the brightest smile ever. That is right, I answered, my voice clear and decisive. It was me. So what? The dormitory room, which was noisy with Bella's sobbing, suddenly fell silent after my answer. The air seemed to freeze, her crying choked in her throat, her eyes wide with tears but filled with shock and rage. Xiaomi was the first to react. The Navotaku girl stood up abruptly, pointing her finger at my face, her voice trembling with anger. Selena, how could you do that? That is act of smearing others. Bella is just a weak girl. What did she do wrong for you to treat her like that? Lena said nothing but pushed up her glasses, the eyes of a scholar beginning to scan back and forth between me and Bella, collecting and analyzing data. I ignored Xiaomi's fury, slowly dragging a chair to the middle of the room and sitting down, crossing my legs. The posture was exactly like my father's whenever he started an interrogation session. Weak, I smirked, looking straight at the stunned Bella. Bella, your act of being a bullied victim was very convincing. But do you want to hear an analysis of the plot holes in the script? I did not wait for her to answer, turning to Lena. Lena, you are the most rational person here. Do you find it strange? A girl who claims her family has a normal background can easily transfer into the school's best dormitory in the middle of the semester. Without special connections, this would require a significant donation to the school. Lena nodded slightly, suspicion beginning to flash in her eyes. I continued, my voice steady as if reading a report. Next, let's look at the evidence. Xiaomi, you like watching anime, so you probably do not know much about luxury goods, but just look closely at the photo on the forum. I opened my phone, zooming in on the photo taken from Bella's old Instagram. The handbag in her hand is a Hermes Birkin Himalaya crocodile, the version with diamond-encrusted hardware. The price at the most recent auction was 2 million yuan. The shoes are a limited edition Manolo Blahnik not sold publicly. The watch is Patek Philippe. Tell me, what normal background can afford these things? Xiaomi gaped, stammering. Maybe it is fake goods. Bella, as if grabbing a lifeline, hurriedly nodded furiously, tears starting to fall again. That is right, it is fake. I just bought it to wear for fun. Selena, you intentionally used these things to frame me. You are too cruel. She started playing the innocent lamb cornered by the evil wolf again. It is a pity the wolf today has no interest in watching the play anymore. I smiled, a smile that made Bella's spine go cold. What a coincidence. My brother happens to be a luxury goods appraisal expert. Before posting, he spent 10 minutes analyzing every detail in your photo. He said, if this is a fake, the skill of the workshop making this fake is enough to be put in a museum. I held up my phone, the screen displaying a pending video call. So what, do you need me to connect directly with him, so we can hear the analysis together? Or should I send this entire analysis to your fiancé, young Master Wang in B City, for him to see how exquisite his fiancé's fakes are? The word fiancé was like the final knife piercing through Bella's last mask. Her face turned from pale to purple, the weakness disappearing, replaced by malice and madness. Selena, you bitch. She screamed, the sound so piercing that Xiaomi and Lena jumped back. You investigated me. Who do you think you are? Oh, finally stopped acting. I leaned back in the chair, crossing my arms over my chest. Then let me reintroduce myself. I am Selena, nationally certified green tea exterminator. Nice to meet you. I will kill you. Bella screamed, rushing towards me like a wounded animal, her nails raised intending to scratch my face. Xiaomi screamed in fear. Lena was too shocked to speak, but before she could even touch me, her wrist was caught firmly by me. I used a simple arm lock technique learned from my dad, gently twisting it. Ah! Bella screamed in pain, her whole body collapsing. I bent down close to her ear, my voice cold as ice. Bella, your tricks are over. Now you have two choices. 1. Pack your things yourself and get out of here quietly. 2. I will publish the entire video of you attacking me, just now, along with the recording of your real voice, and the information about your father, trying to bribe the principal to get you into the school. Think about what Lu Corporation will think about a potential partner who has a daughter like that. Bella's body went stiff. She looked up at me with unbelievable eyes, mixed with fear. She did not understand why all her actions were in the palm of my hand. I let her go, stepped back, took out a tissue to wipe my hands with utter disgust. Xiaomi, Lena. I turned to the two roommates who were frozen in place. Do you understand now? The person you wholeheartedly comforted is actually a venomous snake in the guise of a white rabbit. She approached you simply because you were naive enough to become tools and an audience for her play. Xiaomi's face was drained of blood, looking at Bella kneeling on the ground with unfamiliar eyes. Lena sighed, pushing up her glasses. Selena. This time I truly misjudged the person. Sorry, I only nodded. The mission to educate the roommates was complete. Bella staggered to her feet. She did not cry, nor did she scream anymore. There was only a terrifying silence. She glared at me, her eyes filled with indelible malice. Selena, just you wait. This is not over. After speaking, she did not bother to pack her things but grabbed her phone and rushed out of the room. As soon as she left, I immediately received a message from Alex. She is calling Howard. Content, Dad. The plan is exposed. I was sabotaged by a girl named Selena. You have to handle her for me. I smiled. Case file 404 status update low. Level subject eliminated. Upgrading case to corporate level. New target subject Howard. Phase 3 begins. Luring the snake out of the hole. It seems the student level game is over. Now is the time for the parents to continue the act. After the door slammed shut behind Bella, room 404 sank into a strange silence. The smell of gunpowder from the recent battle still lingered in the air. Xiaomi slumped onto the bed, her big round eyes still bewildered like a fawn that just escaped a crocodile's jaws. Oh my God, Selena, you. She stuttered, unable to form a sentence, the admiration in her eyes completely replacing the reproach from earlier. Lena was calmer. She pushed up her glasses and approached me, her voice serious. I have sent an email to the dormitory management board requesting a re-examination of Bella's admission profile. At the same time, I will also write a detailed report about her attack just now, with Xiaomi as a witness. We cannot let her slander you back. I looked at Lena and nodded slightly. Thanks but no need. Why? Both asked in unison. Because, I smiled, a smile full of hidden meaning. The next battle does not take place here. As I predicted less than half an hour later, my phone received a call from a strange number. Selena, right? I am Howard, Bella's father. The man's voice on the other end was deep and powerful, carrying the unconcealed arrogance of a superior. He did not ask how I was, did not beat around the bush, but went straight to the point. My daughter is still young and naive, she does not understand things. If she has offended you in any way, I apologize on her behalf. Let's let this matter go. Let it go. It sounded like a bestowal of favor. Analysis. Tone imposing, condescending, lacking sincerity, purpose, using status to extinguish the problem quickly. Tactics, typical of the nouveau rich. I laughed softly. Uncle Jiang, your words are too heavy. It is just a little misunderstanding between roommates. Why bother you? Misunderstanding is good. Howard seemed satisfied with my sensibility. How about this? Consider it getting acquainted. I will treat you to a meal. This weekend at Celestial Restaurant, VP room. Just come and read my name. Celestial Restaurant, the most expensive place in a city. One meal could equal a year's tuition for a normal student. A sweet slap. Both showing off wealth and asserting dominance. Thank you for your kindness, uncle, but I am afraid I cannot accept. I refused politely. Howard's voice on the other end immediately turned cold. Little girl, do not be ungrateful. I am giving you a way out. A way out, I laughed. Uncle Jiang, perhaps you misunderstood. The one who needs a way out is not me. His patience ran out. I have investigated. Your family is just a normal civil servant family in this city. What right do you think you have to talk to me? Believe it or not, with just one phone call from me, you will be expelled from school tomorrow. I stayed silent to let him vent his anger. The angrier he gets, the easier he makes mistakes. What? Scared already? See, and I said nothing. Howard was triumphant. If you know what is good for you, delete all that nonsense online and come apologize to my daughter. Otherwise, do not blame me. Uncle Jiang. I waited for him to finish before speaking slowly and clearly. Do you know that the crime of threatening others and abusing power to influence the decision of an educational organization can be criminally prosecuted? Oh, and this call of ours. It seems I accidentally pressed record. The other end of the line went silent. I could imagine Howard's face purple with rage. You brat. He gritted his teeth. You have guts. Beep, beep, beep. He hung up. I put the phone down on the table. The fish had taken the bait. Immediately I opened a video call with the task force. Dad, Mom, brother. As predicted, Howard has acted. He just called to threaten me. I replayed the recording. After listening, my father tapped lightly on the desk. Typical. This type of person, when money and power cannot solve the problem immediately, will switch to dirty tactics. He will find a way to take revenge on you. Alex, start monitoring all of Howard's activities. Alex nodded, his hands already gliding over the keyboard. I have infiltrated the traffic camera system and located his phone. He just left the company, driving to the Golden Club. Golden Club. My mother frowned. That is where Lulu Lucas's father often goes to discuss business. It seems he still has not given up on approaching Lu Corporation. Not only that, Alex threw a series of documents onto the screen. I just hacked into the internal financial system of Howard's company. There is an unusual expenditure of 5 million yuan transferred to a personal account last week. Account holder name Zhang Wei, head of admissions at a university. No wonder Bella got into school so easily, I muttered. Everything is clear, my father concluded. Our plan is to use his own tactics against him. Mom will create a psychological trap, Alex will provide the ammunition, and you are the bait. I understand. I nodded. Just then my phone rang again. It was Lucas. It seems our director is also very impatient. I told my family, then picked up the phone. Your play tonight was very spectacular. Lucas's voice held a hint of laughter. Do you need me to award you an Oscar? Just a warm-up, I replied. Your news travels fast. I planted a mini bug on your collar when we were on the rooftop. What? I was startled. I reflexively checked my collar. From the other end came his low chuckle. Just kidding. I just happened to overhear your conversation with Howard through my family's surveillance system. Did your dad forget to renew the anti-intrusion software? I was silent. My brother Alex on the other side of the video screen turned red from being outsmarted by another hacker. Lucas continued. Her father is coming to the Golden Club to find my father. It seems he intends to use relationships to apply pressure. Is that so? I raised an eyebrow. Then does Chairman Lu have the interest to watch one more play? This time it is a bigger stage. Very willing. His voice was full of interest. Location Golden Club, I said. But this time I am not the actor, I am the audience. The main actor is about to take the floor. I hung up, looking at the video screen. Mom, I need your help. I want to send a small gift to Madame Lu, Lucas's mother. My mother smiled, a smile of a wolf in sheep's clothing psychologist. Of course, darling. I always love family dramas. The game has truly begun. Howard thinks he is the hunter, but he does not know he is just a beast falling into a meticulously designed trap. And I, along with my family, are the hunters patiently waiting. Golden Club. This place is not a noisy bar but a fortress for the elite. Every inch of land is paved with money and power. Crystal lights hung down like galaxies. The air wafted with the scent of fine wine and unspoken calculations. Lucas and I sat in a VIP room on the second floor. This room had a huge one-way glass window, looking straight down at the main hall where Vincent and Howard were sitting. A perfect position for the director and producer. 82 red wine or a special cocktail named green tea tears. Lucas handed me the menu, the corners of his mouth curving up. A glass of water is fine, I replied. I need a clear head to enjoy the upcoming play. He shrugged, signaling the waiter. Then a glass of water for her and a bawang bai ji for me. I feel tonight's play will be a bit tragic. I glanced at him. Has my mother's gift been sent to Madame Lu yet? It has arrived. Lucas gently swirled the wine glass in his hand, his eyes flashing with amusement. A basket of white orchids accompanied by a handwritten card. Your mother is truly a master. The card only wrote one sentence. Madame Lu, heard that tonight Chairman Lu has an important appointment at Golden Club with a very generous partner. Have a nice evening. No threats, no accusations. Just a reminder full of implications enough to arouse the curiosity and instinct of a smart wife, Grace Tang. My mother never disappoints me. Downstairs, the conversation did not seem to be going very smoothly. Vincent, the old fox of the marketplace, just sipped his tea, his face indifferent to Howard's sweet words. Howard began to get impatient, beads of sweat appearing on his forehead. It seems my father is not interested in his land projects, Lucas commented. Then he will have to use Plan B, I said, my eyes glued to a figure moving in the distance. Sure enough, a girl wearing a red silk dress, with hot curves and a seductive mixed-race face, was carrying a tray of wine walking toward their table. She moved gracefully like a cat, every step calculated. Wow, premium goods, Lucas whistled softly. Howard is truly willing to spend. This type is not a normal green tea, I analyzed. This is a white-bone spirit. Clear target, professional methods, once she strikes she does not miss. And then the classic play began. The girl slipped, the entire tray of wine pouring onto Vincent. I am sorry, I truly did not mean to. She panicked, hurriedly taking out a handkerchief to wipe Vincent's suit. But her wiping position was extremely ambiguous, her soft hand intentionally brushing past his solid chest. Howard immediately stood up, pretending to scold. How do you work? Do you know who Chairman Lu is? Then he turned to Vincent, smiling to make amends. Chairman Lu, I am so embarrassed, let me handle her. Or you can go up to the VIP room upstairs to change into a temporary set of clothes. I have everything prepared. A perfect juggling act, creating an opportunity for the honey trap, while finding an excuse to take Vincent to a more private place. Vincent frowned, a bit awkward. He is not a lecherous man, but being clung to by a beautiful girl in front of a partner is not a good thing. Right at that key moment, the main door of the Golden Club opened. A woman wearing a hand-embroidered turquoise cheongsam, her hair in a high bun, with a noble aura like a queen, walked in. She did not look at anyone, just smiled and walked straight toward her husband's table. "It is Madame Liu, Vivian Song. It seems our main actress has arrived." Lucas raised his glass and smiled. Vivian walked over without showing any anger. She glanced at the stunned girl in the red dress, then looked at her husband's soaked suit, and laughed softly. "Vincent, it seems your meeting tonight is livelier than I thought." Her voice was gentle, but every word was like a needle. "Honey, why are you here?" Vincent was slightly confused. "I came to pick you up to go home," Vivian replied, then turned to Howard, who was frozen like a statue. "This must be CEO Zhang. I have heard of you for a long time. CEO Zhang's way of doing business really knows how to create surprises." Howard stammered, Madam Liu, this is just a misunderstanding. Vivian smiled, her smile becoming even more radiant. She turned to the girl in the red dress. "Young lady, your acting skills are very good, but you chose the wrong stage. This suit of my husband is a limited edition Bryony. The price is enough for you to buy a small apartment. Do you think you can afford to compensate?" The girl's face turned pale. Vivian did not give her a chance to answer. She linked her arm with Vincent, pulling him up. "CEO Zhang, our Liu Corporation has always done business based on ability. We do not need these spices. Perhaps we do not need to discuss this contract any further. Vincent, let's go home. I stewed soup for you." She pulled Vincent away decisively, leaving Howard rooted to the spot, his face turning from green to white, like a spilled palette. His play had completely collapsed. In the VIP room, Lucas and I clinked glasses. My glass of water and his cocktail touched, creating a clear sound. "Your mother is truly a prodigy," I praised sincerely. "She was just using her true strength." Lucas laughed. "But I also have to thank your family's psychological expert for the enlightenment. Now it is our turn." He pressed a button on his phone. At the same time, Howard's phone rang frantically. He tremblingly picked up. The other end transmitted the panicked voice of the secretary. "CEO Zhang, it is bad. The tax bureau and trade inspectors just raided our company. All books have been sealed." "What?" Howard screamed, almost collapsing. It was not over yet. A message was sent to his phone. It was a video. The video recorded him giving a suitcase of money to Zhang Wei, the head of admissions at a university. The angle was extremely clear, accompanied by a text message. "Howard, the game is over. Either turn yourself in at the police station, or this video will be on the front page of every newspaper tomorrow morning." The sender number was a virtual string that could not be traced. Howard could not stand steady, falling onto the expensive sofa, his eyes empty. He lost thoroughly. I put the glass of water down and stood up. "The play has ended. I am going back first." "Wait," Lucas called me back. He stepped forward, standing opposite me, the distance very close. His eyes looking at me were no longer scrutinizing, but held a complex, burning emotion. "Selena," he softly called my name. "Do you want to become my long-term partner?" "Partner, correct," he smiled. A genuine smile, no longer cold or sarcastic. "This world has too many green teas and idiots. Just the two of us cleaning up might be a bit busy, but I think it will be very fun." This invitation was bolder than any confession. I looked into his eyes. In a moment, I felt this man was truly my own kind. "Let me think about it," I said, then turned to leave, leaving Lucas standing there with a smile on his lips. Case 404 can be considered closed, but the game between me and Lucas was just beginning. The earthquake named Howard did not stop at the Golden Club. It swept through the entire A city like a Category 12 storm. The next day, Bella quietly withdrew her profile from the university, disappearing without a trace, as if she never existed. The school forum exploded. Rumors were woven into dozens of different versions, but no one knew the shocking truth behind it. The name Selena only flashed by as a small detail, and was quickly forgotten. I returned to being a normal student, at least in everyone's eyes. A few days later, Howard's real estate company was officially sealed for investigation on charges of tax evasion and bribery of officials. The empire he worked hard to build with dirty tricks collapsed in just one night. In my living room, the task force was holding a summary meeting. Case 404 ended successfully. Subject Howard turned himself in. Subject Bella was sent abroad. Efficiency thorough. My father tapped lightly on the file folder, his voice full of satisfaction of a commander who just won a battle. My mother sipped some tea. Selena did very well this time. Not only solved the trouble in the dormitory, but also seized the opportunity to drag the big fish, dragging the big fish into the light. She is becoming more and more like her mother. Alex sat opposite, pushing up his glasses. But we also have to admit the system of Liu Corporation is very strong. I had to spend the whole night patching the security holes that Lucas poked. "Lucas, I muttered this name. His offer to become partners still echoed in my ears. Just then, the doorbell rang. A woman about 30 years old, dressed luxuriously but with eyes hiding fatigue and anxiety. Come in. This is the new client of Purge Security Consulting. Hello Mr. Shen, Mrs. Shen. I am Catherine Song. A new case file was opened right on the table. Target subject Henry Keane, 35 years old, CEO of Star River Technology Group, a startup company that went public within just 5 years. Humble background, self-made, a legend in the business world. Client Catherine, wife of Henry, young lady of the Song Jewelry Group, requesting investigation into the illicit relationship between Henry and a woman named Alice. Collecting evidence to make Alice leave Henry forever. I looked at the photo of Alice. Completely different from Bella. This woman did not look weak or fake. She wore a simple white dress, sitting by a piano. Her aura was otherworldly like a muse. Clear eyes, a gentle smile, exuding a distant sadness. This is not a green tea. My mother spoke up, the eyes of a psychological expert sharp as a knife. This is a white moonlight. The bright moonlight, the unforgettable first love. The regret that could not be obtained in the past. My father continued. This type is 10 times more dangerous than a green tea. A green tea uses skills, but a white moonlight uses feelings. For a self-made man like Henry, his career is an achievement, but the white moonlight is an obsession. He can give up benefits, but it is hard to give up an obsession. Alex immediately projected Alice's information onto the big screen. Alice, 34 years old, famous pianist. 10 years ago, she and Henry were childhood sweethearts, the golden couple of the university. But then, Alice suddenly went to study abroad, cutting off all contact. Henry suffered for a long time, then met Catherine, got married and built his career. 2 weeks ago, Alice suddenly returned to the country, organizing a solo concert, and Henry went to that concert. Catherine sat opposite, her voice trembling. Since that day, he started to change. He often comes home late, lying to me that it is social engagement, but in reality, he goes to meet her. I even found a high-end apartment he just bought under her name. Her tears rolled down. Mrs. Shen, I do not want a divorce. I just want her to disappear from our lives. This is a difficult case. The white moonlight returns, bringing an appearance both pitiful and arrogant. Any direct attack will turn Henry into a hero protecting love, and his wife will become a jealous, evil woman. We need a plan, my father said. Cannot alert the snake, must find Alice's weakness. Alex typed on the keyboard. On the surface, her life is perfect. Talented, beautiful, clean past. But there is a strange point. During 10 years abroad, she had almost no significant performance activities, but her bank account had large sums of money transferred from unclear sources in Switzerland. Interesting. My mother smiled. Our muse seems to not only live on moonlight. I need to approach them. I spoke up. I need to observe Henry and Alice directly. Only at close range can I find the cracks in her play. How? My father asked. This weekend Alice has a gratitude party for close friends and partners at a private villa. Security is extremely strict. Alex said, his face a bit pensive. The guest list is finalized. Very hard to infiltrate. Hard for others but not impossible. I smiled, picking up my phone to find a number saved but never called back. Hello. The familiar low voice rang on the other end. Does Chairman Liu have an interest in participating in a new case? The other end was silent for a few seconds, then a soft laugh rang out. Having this call must mean my new partner has finished thinking. Say it. Who is the prey this time? White moonlight, I replied briefly. Alice. The party at Lishui Villa this weekend. I need an entry ticket. Oh, Henry and his moonlight. Lucas did not seem surprised. Your news travels fast. Coincidentally, I am also on the guest list. Is that so? It is, but Selena. His voice suddenly became more serious. Partnership must be reciprocal. I help you enter. What do you pay me? The truth, I said. And a good play no less than the one at Golden Club. Deal, he replied decisively. Saturday night at 7 p.m. I will pick you up. Dress up a little. After all, you are my girlfriend. What? I was stunned. Am I not? He laughed. Going to a high-class party, I cannot go alone. And you going with the young master of Liu Corporation will have a perfect identity to approach the prey without being suspected. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Or do you not want to? I took a deep breath. This old fox. 7 p.m. I said and hung up. I looked up. The whole family was looking at me with eyes full of hidden meaning. It seems. My father cleared his throat. This case we have additional outside help. My mother smiled. Partner is very acceptable. Well-matched status. I ignored those teasing words. In my head, a red line of text appeared. Case file White Moonlight. Subject Alice. Level S-class psychological expert. Special partner Lucas. Exactly at 7 p.m. on Saturday, a pitch-black Aston Martin DB11 stopped right in front of my dormitory gate, attracting everyone's eyes. The car door opened. Lucas stepped down. He was not wearing a uniform or casual sportswear, but a tailored suit. Not from any luxury brand, but from a bespoke tailor in London that only old families knew about. Every line was perfect, highlighting his broad shoulders and narrow waist. His usual cold aura was replaced by the arrogant, distant look of someone standing at the top of the pyramid. I was also ready. I chose a dark blue silk dress, simple design but exquisite cut, enough to stand out but not too ostentatious. My mother said when facing a white moonlight, the best weapon is not magnificence but a mysterious aura. You are 30 seconds late. Lucas opened the car door for me. His voice still carried the familiar calculation. You must ensure no detail on you can be exploited by the opponent. I sat in the car, replying calmly. In a psychological battle, every detail is a chess move. He laughed, closed the door, and got into the driver's seat. It seems we truly are natural, born partners. The car sped into the night, leaving behind curious and jealous eyes. Lishui Villa is located halfway up the mountain. A private fortress surrounded by forests and state of the art security systems. The party was not noisy, only the melodious sound of piano music and quiet conversations of the elite. Everyone here was either rich or powerful, or both. As soon as Lucas and I walked in, we immediately became the center of attention. The young master of Lu Corporation had never brought a girlfriend to any event before. He naturally wrapped his arm around my waist, a clear possessive action, whispering in my ear, "Act the part well, girlfriend." Of course, boyfriend. I smiled back. My smile was perfect to every millimeter, and then we saw her. Alice stood by the pure white piano in the middle of the hall. Still the familiar white dress from the photo. Long black hair loosely falling on her shoulders. She did not need sparkling jewelry. She herself radiated a unique light. A fragile, otherworldly beauty that made people only dare to look from afar, not dare to tarnish. Beside her was Henry. He looked at her with eyes that any wife would be heartbroken to see. A look filled with adoration, cherishing, and regret. The main actor has taken the stage, Lucas whispered. We walked over. Brother Chin, long time no see. Lucas greeted socially. Henry turned around. Seeing Lucas, he smiled, but when he saw me beside him, his eyes flashed with surprise. Young Master Lu, you have the interest to come here today. This young lady is my girlfriend, Selena. Lucas introduced briefly, the hand on my waist tightening slightly. Hello CEO Kian. Hello Miss Anne. I smiled politely. Alice also turned to look at me. Her eyes were clear as autumn lake water, without a ripple. She assessed me from head to toe in 1 second, then gave a gentle smile. Hello Miss Shen. You are really beautiful. A social compliment but also a probing strike. I dare not accept, I replied. Miss Anne's artistic aura is what truly makes others admire. I heard your comeback concert was truly very moving. My earpiece rang with my mother's voice. Good assessment. Start with admiration. Lower yourself to make the opponent lower their guard. Miss Shen praises me too much. Alice laughed. It was just a little personal emotion. Oh, I showed curiosity. I heard Miss Anne was abroad for 10 years. Surely during those 10 years, you accumulated a lot of inspiration and valuable experiences for your music, right? This was a casual question but aimed straight at the weakness Alex had found. 10 years with almost no performance activities. A light almost impossible to perceive flashed in Alice's eyes then disappeared immediately. She raised her hand to brush a lock of hair, an unconscious action to hide confusion. Not exactly, she replied, her voice still gentle. Those 10 years I mainly spent time settling down to search for myself. For an artist, sometimes silence is more precious than the spotlight. A perfect answer. Both romantic and philosophical, cannot be faulted. The earpiece rang again with my father's voice, analyzing micro-expressions. When mentioning 10 years, her pupils contracted for 0.5 seconds. Her left hand gripped the wine glass tightly. She is lying and feels insecure about this topic. Truly the realm of a real artist. I nodded in appreciation. So surely your life abroad was very simple and pure, right? Only music and yourself. That is right, she smiled. A smile like moonlight. Just then, a middle-aged fat man wearing gold rings on his hands stumbled over. Miss Anne, listening to one of your songs is truly worth a fortune. How about this? Tonight you have dinner privately with me. I will invest in opening a music academy for you. How about it? Henry immediately darkened his face, intending to step up to shield Alice, but Alice gently raised her hand to stop him. She did not show anger or disgust, only a melancholy sadness in her eyes. Thank you for your good intentions, CEO Zhang, but my music is priceless. It cannot be measured by money. Sorry, she refused in a way that was both noble and firm, making that man feel he was truly rude, having to slink away in shame. Everyone around looked at her with admiring eyes. A perfect media crisis handling. Lucas whispered in my ear. She just elevated her own value while making Henry admire her even more. That is right, I replied. But did you notice? When that CEO Zhang mentioned the word investment, she took the bait. An unconscious reflex showing interest in money. The earpiece rang with Alex's voice. CEO Zhang is our man. I paid him 50,000 to act out that scene just now. You did very well, I silently praised him. The conversation ended. Alice asked to be excused to go inside and rest. Henry immediately followed, his eyes not leaving her for half a step. How was it, partner? Lucas asked. Did you harvest anything? Harvested a crack, I said. She is not as perfect as she looks on the outside. She is very sensitive to two topics. 10 years abroad and money. So what is the next step? The next step is to dig deep into that crack. I watched the backs of Alice and Henry. Lucas, can you help me investigate something? Say it. Please help me find all the old friends of Alice and Henry from university, especially those present when Alice suddenly decided to study abroad. I do not believe such a beautiful love story ended just because she wanted to find herself. No problem, Lucas replied, but what do you intend to do with them? I smiled. A smile full of calculation. Organize a class reunion so everyone can review old memories together. People call it white moonlight because that light is only beautiful when it lies within memories painted pink. So what if we cruelly return the memory to its true color? Lucas's work efficiency was truly nothing to joke about. Less than 24 hours after the party at Lishui Villa, a detailed list accompanied by psychological profiles of all related old classmates was lying on my desk. Lewei, class monitor of the music department, who once secretly had a crush on Alice, currently the director of an event organization company. Weakness, craves fame, likes to show off. Chen Man, close friend and dormitory roommate with Alice. After Alice went to study abroad, they cut off contact. Currently a full-time housewife, her husband is a small manager. Weakness, secretly jealous of Alice's current life, harboring resentment. Wang Kai, Henry's close friend, the only person present at the airport to see Alice off, currently a deputy director at Star River. Weakness, absolutely loyal to Henry, but has a straightforward nature, not good at lying. The list was still long, but these three people were the key chess pieces. The class reunion plan was ready. Lucas called me, his voice efficient like a CEO reporting progress. Tomorrow night at the revolving restaurant on top of the Imperial Capitol Tower. I have booked the entire restaurant. Reason. Li Wei wants to organize a grand class reunion to show off. Lu Corporation happens to be the diamond sponsor. He cannot refuse. Perfect. I smiled. Then I will prepare the script. No need. Lucas interrupted. The best script is having no script. You just need to throw a spark. I will ensure the wind blows in the right direction. Truly a kindred spirit. He understands clearly that in a psychological war, improvisation is the ultimate weapon. The next evening, the Imperial Capitol revolving restaurant was as magnificent as a palace amidst the stars. The 360-degree view of the city at night stretched out below. Lu Wei, as the organizer, went around welcoming everyone with a beaming face. Henry and Alice arrived quite early. She remained faithful to the white dress, standing in the middle of the luxurious space, beautiful as a painting. Henry stood beside her. His eyes did not leave her for a second. Like a knight protecting the saintess of his heart, everyone surrounded them. Praises and admiration were ceaseless. Alice, you really have not changed a bit. Still beautiful as a fairy. Henry, you really have an eye. First love of 10 years is still beautiful like this. Alice just smiled gently, occasionally glancing at Henry, a look full of affection but also hinting at shyness. A perfect play about old love rekindled. Just when the atmosphere was at its peak, Lucas and I appeared. The door opened, all eyes turned toward us. Lucas was still in a dashing black suit, while I chose a bright red dress, a color completely opposite to Alice. If she is the moonlight, then I must be a flame. Young Master Lu, Li Wei stammered, hurriedly running over. You also came. My girlfriend said she wanted to come see the bustle. Lucas replied calmly, his possessive hand placed on my waist, pulling me closer. The whole auditorium seemed to explode. Lucas's girlfriend. This news was even hotter than Henry reuniting with his old love. I smiled. My eyes swept past Henry, who was frowning, then stopped on Alice's face. In a moment, her smile stiffened but very quickly returned to normal. Hello everyone, I am Selena, Lucas's girlfriend. I introduced myself, my voice clear. I heard today is a class reunion. I took the liberty to follow along to learn from the seniors. The greeting ended. The party began. Under Lucas's coordination, the story was quickly steered to the main topic. The past. To be honest, Alice, Chen Man, the old best friend, after a few glasses of wine began to lose control of her mouth. Back then you left too suddenly. We were planning to organize a farewell party for you. Why such a rush? The first spark had been lit. Alice gently stirred her glass of water, her eyes lowered, her voice carrying a vague sadness. At that time my family had some issues. I also did not want everyone to worry. Moreover, the study abroad procedures came too unexpectedly. I did not have time to prepare. Family had issues. Chenman appeared surprised. I remember back then your parents were still healthy. Or was it related to Henry? All eyes turned toward Henry. He immediately spoke up, his voice full of protection. Chenman, you have drunk too much. It is in the past. Don't bring it up again. Why not bring it up? Li Wei chimed in, perhaps wanting to show he was someone in the know. Back then who did not know Henry and Alice were a couple. Henry even prepared a huge marriage proposal on the school grounds. The result was Alice did not show up but flew straight to America. Our Henry collapsed for half a year. The atmosphere became awkward. Alice looked up, teary eyes looking at Henry. Her voice choked. Henry, I am sorry. At that time I had my own suffering. Own suffering. These words were vague, pitiful, enough to arouse sympathy and curiosity in everyone. What suffering that she had to throw away the person she loved like that? I spoke up. My voice clear as if having no intention. But like a knife stabbing straight into the black heart. Could it be because of the full scholarship from Juilliard School? I heard that scholarship requires the recipient to commit to no romantic entanglements during the study process. Is that correct? All this information was of course fabricated by Alex within 30 seconds. Alice froze looking at me. Her eyes flashing with panic. Juilliard was indeed the school she dreamed of but she never received any scholarship. Henry was also surprised. Alice, is it true? You never told me. Alice quickly regained her calm. She shook her head smiling bitterly. There is no such thing. Miss Shen, where did you hear the news? I am just a normal student. How could I reach Juilliard? She denied it perfectly. But the seed of doubt had been sown. Is that so? Lucas suddenly spoke up. He turned to Wang Kai, Henry's best friend. Brother Kai, I heard that day you were the only one at the airport to see Miss An off. Surely you know best, right? Wang Kai was drinking. Hearing his name, he was startled. He looked at Henry then looked at Alice. His face troubled. I am also not very clear. He stammered. At that time Alice just cried saying there was a compelling reason she had to go. Told me not to tell Henry. Compelling reason. I repeated, raising an eyebrow. Sounds just like in an idol drama. I am very curious. Ultimately what reason was so mysterious? I looked straight at Alice and smiled. Or is it that Miss Anne does not want to say because she is afraid of affecting her muse image? Miss Anne. Alice could not keep calm anymore. Her voice a bit sharp. Selena. Henry stood up looking at me with dissatisfied eyes. You do not go too far. I am just curious. I pretended to be innocent. After all, such a touching love story. Who does not want to know its happy ending? The air was taut as a violin string. Just then, Chenman suddenly let out an ah sound, as if just remembering something. Wait, Alice, I remember now. The day you left. Didn't you tell me you had urgent business back in your hometown? You even borrowed 5,000 yuan from me to buy a train ticket. Why did it turn into going to the airport to go to America? The whole restaurant fell dead silent. All eyes including Henry's poured onto Alice. Her delicate face for the first time turned pale as a sheet of paper. The perfect mask of the white moonlight finally showed a crack. Chenman's sentence was like an atomic bomb, exploding in the quiet restaurant. 5,000 yuan for a train ticket. Hometown. Airport. Going to America. The disjointed pieces suddenly formed a picture full of contradictions and deception. Alice's pale face finally had some color, but it was the red flush of anger and panic. Henry, the man who always stood shielding her, for the first time turned back, his eyes shifting from astonishment to suspicion. Alice, his voice lowered. What is this about? This is the moment a true actor shows her class. Alice took a deep breath. Tears immediately poured down like rain. She did not look at Chenman but looked straight at Henry. Her eyes filled with hurt and disappointment. Henry, even you do not believe me. She sobbed. Chenman, I know you always disliked me, but I did not expect that after 10 years you could, out of jealousy, make up such an absurd story to ruin me. She shifted the attack direction, turning herself from the questioned into the victim of envy. A classic technique but always effective with those heavy with emotions. Sure enough, Henry immediately wavered. His eyes looking at Chenman became sharp. Chenman was red with anger. Alice, do not slander me. That 5,000 yuan was the tuition money I saved for a whole year. How could I remember wrongly? Then where is the evidence? Alice challenged. 10 years already. Who would believe your empty words? The atmosphere once again fell into a deadlock. That is right. Without evidence, everything is just hearsay. I believe her. A steady voice rang out. It was Wang Kai. He stood up, looking at Alice with complex eyes. Alice, I also remember that day at the airport. When you went through the security gate, I saw in your wallet a train ticket to L City. At that time I found it strange but did not dare to ask. If Chen Man's words were a spear tip, then Wang Kai's words were a hammer smashing all of Alice's denials. Wang Kai is Henry's best friend. He has no reason to lie. You people are ganging up to bully me. Alice started to lose control, her voice rising. Enough, Alice. Henry finally spoke up, his voice tired. Tell me the truth. Why did you lie? Alice was choked for words. Just then I slowly spoke up, my voice gentle but making everyone pay attention. Or let me help Miss and remember. I looked at her, smiling. Actually, the story about you borrowing money from Chen Man to buy a train ticket to your hometown is true. Only that the hometown you spoke of was not your hometown. But El City. Everyone was bewildered. That is right. I continued. You went there not to visit relatives, but to go to a place called Nkang Private Clinic. Is that right, Miss Alice? The name Nkang was just uttered. Alice's body shook violently. Her face was no longer pale but gray as ash. What nonsense are you saying? She screamed. Nonsense. I raised an eyebrow. Then what about this? I signaled Lucas. He nodded, taking the remote control of the restaurant, turning on the giant projector screen behind the stage. The lights in the restaurant dimmed. Only the screen shone brightly. On the screen was not a video or image but a clearly scanned document. Title: Surgery Confirmation Paper, Hospital, Nkang Private Clinic. Patient name: Alice. Surgery type: abortion of 8-week-old fetus. Surgery date: June 15th, 10 years ago. Total cost: 5,000 yuan. The whole restaurant exploded. Gasps and whispers rang out from all sides. Henry stood frozen, his eyes glued to the screen, his face expressing a collapse indescribable in words. The white moonlight in his heart turned out to not only know how to lie but also hid such a terrifying secret. No, it is not fake. It is all fake. Alice screamed like a madwoman, rushing toward the screen as if wanting to tear it apart. Is it fake? My earpiece rang with Alex's cold voice. This entire file was retrieved directly from the clinic's cloud storage system. It has her full signature and fingerprints. Cannot be faked. Henry slowly turned to look at Alice with completely unfamiliar eyes, his voice cold to the bone. Why? Just one question but containing the devastation of 10 years of waiting and illusion. Alice knew she had no way out. She suddenly burst out laughing, a crazy and resentful laugh. She pointed at Henry. Why? Is it not because of you, Henry? If not because you were useless and could not take responsibility, would I have to come to this dead end? She threw out her final card, a cruel slander, wanting to drag Henry to drown with her. But she underestimated the preparation of the Shen family. Miss Anne. Lucas suddenly spoke up, his voice cold. According to the immigration records I obtained, from March to June 10 years ago, Henry was in a student exchange program at MIT Boston. He was completely not present in the country, so may I ask whose baby that was? A perfect finishing blow. All of Alice's defenses collapsed completely. She fell to her knees on the ground. The crying now was no longer acting but true despair. Henry did not say another word. He turned and walked away decisively. That back view no longer held any lingering attachment to the bright moon of the past. He walked straight out of the restaurant, out of the nightmare that lasted 10 years. The play had lowered its curtain. In the Aston Martin DB11, the city at night glided past the window like a galaxy. I silently looked outside. My phone vibrated. It was a message from Catherine. Only 2 words, thank you, accompanied by a notification of a transfer of an amount enough for me to live comfortably for the rest of my life. Case closed, Lucas said, breaking the silence. Do you feel like a god deciding the fate of others? I turned to look at him. No. I am just a cleaner, cleaning up the trash that others leave behind. Lucas laughed. He stopped the car in front of a red light intersection, turning to look at me. His eyes under the street light became deep. So, little cleaner, have you thought carefully about my offer yet? I looked into his eyes reflecting the neon lights of the city, also reflecting the image of myself, a cold, rational, and somewhat dangerous human. Lucas, I said, cooperating with you will probably be very troublesome, but it will also be very interesting. He finished my sentence. I slightly smirked. Then welcome, partner. The green light turned on. The car rushed forward, merging into the endless flow of the city. The white moonlight case file was closed, but I knew the notebook of the Shen family and of both me and Lucas would open many new pages, because in this city, the plays will never end. True worth cannot be counterfeited, whether it is the calculated fragility of a green tea, or the nostalgic allure of a white moonlight. Facades built on deception are destined to shatter. The story reminds us that manipulation may offer a shortcut to temporary status, but it never secures lasting respect. Real power does not lie in how well you perform a script to please others, but in the intelligence to see through the noise and the courage to live authentically. In a world full of elaborate performances, the sharpest weapon and the most attractive quality will always be the unvarnished truth.